We'll take that. Go ahead and hit him with the GG and swing all in. Alright. Hello and welcome to the Florida Men Gaming. My name is Furion and today we're going to be playing Magic the Gathering Arena. But before we get started, we would like to ask that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and if there's anything you'd like to see. For today's deck, we're going to be playing a green-white Selesnya Enchantment deck. This deck is designed to take advantage of several very strong cards within the current meta, especially because Kamigawa has really come in and focused heavily on enchantments. So what we're doing here, we are trying to play off of the Hallowed Haunting, a 2 white enchantment. For as long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits you control. This deck pairs very nicely with other cards, such as the Wedding Announcement. This 2 white card has made an appearance across a number of different decks. At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on Wedding Announcement. If you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Otherwise, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then if Wedding Announcement has 3 or more counters on it, transform it, and every creature you control gets +1/+1. These can give you a number of bodies to help fill up the board and chump block for days, as well as pumping the board later on to give you just that little bit of edge you need to get all the way through. To help us get there, we're using 4 copies of the Jukai Naturalist. This is a new card from the Kamigawa set. It is a green and white lifelink 2/2, where enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This card will help us really get our cards down to the board quickly. We're playing 1 copy of the Weaver of Harmony. This card is a enchantment creature Snake Druid. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1, and you can copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. So if the Hallowed Haunting is going to make a spirit, you tap this for a green, and it makes a second spirit. Also, because it's an enchantment creature like the Jukai Naturalist, it costs 1 less to cast, so you can cast it for 1 green. We're also playing 4 copies of the Spirited Companion. This card is a 1/1 for 1 and a white, or just a white if you have a naturalist on the board, and when the Spirited Companion enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Other cards we're going to use that will help us get our enchantment count up: 4 copies of the Ranger class, which is 1 and a green, or 1 green with the Naturalist. 4 copies of Michiko's Reign of Truth. This is a new card from Kamigawa. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each artifact and or enchantment you control. Now that is a scary card because most of the creatures, if not all of the creatures except for the Legion Angel of course, are enchantment creatures. 4 copies of Circle of Confinement. That will take away early threats and big tokens. And then 4 copies of Katilda the Dawnhart Martyr, who takes advantage of enchantments and spirits on the board. She gets +1/+1 for each of those. And then if she dies, you can bring her back as an enchantment aura, the Rising Dawn, which gives that benefit of her normal state to any target creature, flying, lifelink, and +1/+1 for each creature that is a spirit or enchantment that you control. We're running 1 call of Emeria's Call and 1 copy of Turntimber Symbiosis, mostly to be mill bait. If we run into a mill deck, we want a couple of big heavy cards in there to catch them. It also rounds out our land base a little bit, gives us the opportunity for tokens with the call late game if we need it. And then for the land base, we're running just a varied land base here: 4 copies of the Overgrown Farmland, 2 Branchloft Pathways, 2 Blossoming Sands to replace pathways we didn't have, 1 Field of Ruin, 4 regular forests, 1 Boseiju who endures, 1 Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire, 1 Cave of the Frost Dragon, 1 Lair of the Hydra for possible creature land engagement. The only other card of interest here is the Commune with the Spirits. It is a basic 1 green. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment or land card from among them and put it into your hand. This card is great for early game fixes. Didn't want to run 4 though, because outside of the early game it may not hit like we want it to. So that is the deck, and with that we are excited to see you in the gameplay. We have an opponent. We're going to be running a green-white enchantment deck here. Opponent showing Halana and Elena sleeves. Could be that they are running Gruul. Unfortunately, in our opener here, the opponent is going first, and we have no white mana. And we drew into even less white mana. That's exciting, but I don't want to mulligan too much here. So let's go ahead and we will bin... I hate to do it. We'll have to probably bin the Hallowed Haunting here. And just hope that we draw something other than 2 mana. Well, so far, the game is not disappointed. We have drawn no mana. This could be CGB's deck from yesterday. Let's go see if we can get some mana. That will help. The Jukai Naturalist will come down next turn, and it will give us the ability to make some good plays a turn after. Assuming, of course, it survives removal. I can't remember what he does. Oh, there goes our Jukai Naturalist. Oh, they took the wedding announcement. That is a good play. Unfortunately for them, we just drew another one, so let's go ahead and give them what they want, since that appears to be what they're most afraid of. Hopefully we can draw into another mana. Not quite what we were hoping for, but we'll take it. Now if they attack all the way in with the pest, we will get some free lifelink out of the deal, assuming of course they don't target it right away with removal. They attacked in with the pest. That is what we wanted. Hopefully they don't do any kind of sacrificial play on the Ghast, as that would take our Naturalist off the board, and that is a key part of our plan. And a Hallowed Haunting. That is glorious, because now we'll be able to tie that in with the Ranger class and build some bodies. Once again, the opponent is wiping the board. Okay. I see you, opponent. I hope you enjoyed your Biting Palm Ninja. And we'll go ahead and Spirited Companion. We draw into another Katilda. That is nice. More spiders on the board for the opponent. And an Infernal Grasp, removing one of our enchantments. That's an interesting card. I haven't seen that played yet. We're definitely not going to lose the Hallowed Haunting, that's for sure. And we'll go ahead and take away one of their blockers. Is this the Deadly Dispute? It is the Deadly Dispute. Alright, our bodies are starting to get big. Let's go ahead and put one over at the Lulth. Make them make a decision. Do they body block? They save the Lulth, which means more spiders coming. Really use another mana. Unfortunately, they're playing mono black and have not put forward anything in the way of lands for me to trade that Field of Ruin out. There's the other mana we were hoping for. Let's go ahead and get down our big flyer. and they're going to have to make some sacrifice plays here. They were probably hoping to get the Junji off the board. Not really anything exciting for them to take out of my graveyard. This might be the Biting Palm Ninja coming back. But if they do that... Oh, they took the Jukai Naturalist. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work for them. Professor Onyx, so there goes the first Katilda. That actually works out. That gives us an enchantment on this next turn. And we now have lifelink for days. So all that work they've done has been essentially, at this point, for naught. They will most likely get an exile spell, but what will they choose to exile? Well, I'll take it. Oh, there goes the Hallowed Haunting. That is an exceedingly good play. Unfortunately for them, we drew into the next one. And we have just effected a coup, getting our Jukai Naturalist back to the board. Opponent sacrificing their treasure. Opponent has card draw for days here. Unfortunately for us, we don't have a way to get through to that Professor Onyx. They've got chump blockers for days, and even when we put a flyer down, they're gonna have that blocker still in play. We'll go ahead and play out the Katilda, though. Potentially bait out some of their removal. And we'll go ahead and grab another Spirit token here. This will not be able to be removed by a single blocker, but the one blocker they're going to put up is going to stop it from going through. Question is now, do they have another Blood on the Snow? If they do, Junji's coming back. And I fully expect that Blood on the Snow is coming. That looks like what they're digging for if I had to make an educated guess here. Baleful Mastery, there goes the Katilda. And a Shambling Ghast. Opponent can sacrifice the Lulf if they choose. Professor Onyx can minus, but the minus is going to take a Spirit Creature token and not the Jukai Naturalist. They've sacrificed the Lulf. And the opponent is continuing to plus the Professor Onyx. There goes the Blood on the Snow they were probably looking for. Opponent down to 23 cards in hand. We're at 40. If they minus 8, we're going to be in trouble, so we need to start doing what we can to get in on that card. Let's at least get a preview of what's coming. getting land next turn, so that's not what we want here. But we have an enchantment creature, which I'd forgotten about, and everything gets flying vigilance. Let's go ahead and take you off the board and get some life back while we're at it. If they're smart, they'll take out this Jukai Naturalist. That looks like what they're electing to do. No, they're just going for chumps. That may not have been the smart play here, as we have the vigilance. They could have gone after an enchantment with that debt to the kami. As a result now, they are in an exceedingly vulnerable position, as we have flying and vigilance. We can go over the top of pretty much everything they've got. And if we get anything other than a land, this game is going to change pace very quickly. Let's see if we can shuffle a creature to the top here. Ooh, another Hallowed Haunting. That's going to be a veritable coup. Gonna go ahead and guarantee the Professor Onyx coming off the board unless they've got removal. They're not gonna be able to stop that. We're going completely over the top of everything they've got going. Big hit coming in. Oh, clever play, but it's still within range of what we want, as it takes away their ability to minus us on the next turn. This could be Blood on the Snow though, and that would be devastating for what we want. Either way, though, that Hallowed Haunting coming down next turn is going to be big. Did they draw the Blood on the Snow? Meathook Massacre for 4. Good play on the opponent's part. But does that give them what they need to find victory here? And another Lolth. The opponent is playing their Super Friends to the max. The Jukai Naturalists getting off the board is a coup. We are in a bad way as a result of that. And another Junji. We're going to go ahead and hold, see if we can get the Emeria's call down next turn. We're willing to take a little damage if it means stopping the Biting Palm Ninja. The Professor Onyx is not in minus range yet, so that gives us a little bit of a chance here. Do they attack with it? They do attack with it. Opponent's most likely going to take our Spirit off the board. As it doesn't really matter, we're just gonna deal our damage and go for it. Do we have anything worth taking? We don't really have anything exciting in our graveyard. There's a Biting Palm Ninja, but we do have the Vigilant, or the two Angels here to block it. And we still have Indestructible, so we're going to be immune from any board wipes. As well as targeted removal. Opponent with 12 total mana. They are able to meat hook for 9. That is impressive. Opponent is electing to take their Lulth all the way up to 8. Now we are pumping spirits out like it's our job. They're gonna remove it. But we're still sitting on an impressive number of creatures. Opponent down to 3 cards. Blood on the Snow. That's one way to do it, folks. But now the question is, are they going to deck themselves before this game is over? That may very well be the case here. We have the Spirited Companion coming next, going to give us more spirits as chump blockers, and all we have to do is hold out basically 2 more turns. We're going to go ahead and take away their Genji. Give ourselves just bodies for days. And this deck is turning into a monster. Ladies and gentlemen, we just won on a decking. That is incredible. We slugged it out with a monstrous Super Friends Black deck. This White-Green Enchantments deck, this is a very scary, effective deck. With that, we'll see you in the next one. Alright, we have our next opponent. This is a slow but playable hand. We'll go ahead and keep and see if we draw into an untapped land. Otherwise, we'll be able to have a pretty nice play line with the Jukai Naturalist, the Michiko's Reign of Truth, and the Ranger class by turn 3. Turn 4, I should say. Alright, the opponent is going mono green, so thank goodness for that untapped land, because a slow start could have been potentially devastating for us. There's the Werewolf Pack Leader. Opponent's going to swing in, I would have to assume. They don't have the removal yet, but that will probably be coming here any moment. drawing into the Legion Angel pretty early there. We'll go ahead and take that. And we'll swing in with a 5/5 lifelinker. Let's see if they want to take the chump. Nope. I do suspect we will see a Blizzard Brawl this turn. No, a Kazandu Mammoth. With the amount of power that's coming down, I'm not too worried about what happens there. We're going to go ahead and play our wedding announcement, give ourselves some chumps. And we will play a tapped Serpentine Wood. Effectively, the opponent has accomplished nothing. And an Asika's Chariot, so the pack leader is going to start pumping. Let's go ahead and take the pack leader out of play. Not too worried here. We've got chump blockers again coming down for days, and the Portrait of Michiko is a larger and larger threat. They will need to have some kind of Blizzard Brawl here to take it out of play, and that would be after dropping a land for the Kazandu Mammoth. Sculptor of Winter. That is a very effective card. And we can now start going over the top. Now they have to debate how they would like to utilize any targeted removal. We're going to go ahead and continue to build our chump block contingent, as they don't have trample at the moment. Unnatural Growth. That is a terrifying card. Except for the fact that it's not. With the wedding announcements giving us all the chump blockers we could ever hope for, we can afford to just block away the days here and be in good shape. They've elected to throw the game away. We'll take that. Go ahead and hit him with the GG and swing all in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have taken another victory. Green-White Enchantments just doing what it needs to do to hold down the board state until it reaches critical mass. We have our next opponent. And a pretty solid starting hand here. We go first, so we're going to actually play this a little bit out of kilter. Since we don't have a 1-drop, we'll keep Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire, and we will start playing into our spells. It's exciting to have the Spirited Companion get that reduction. Opponent going with potentially a mono green or some version of landfall. Let's go ahead and take away their ramp. And we'll start building up a board state. Katilda can come down next turn depending on what they play. We also have the Spirited Companion for some card draw that don't have a Blizzard Brawl immediately online, at least not one that can do what they probably want it to. Tangled Florahedron coming down is the Veil on turn 1, and then the Lotus Cobra on turn 2. They are looking at some kind of green ramp. There's a Kazandu Mammoth, so they could be doing a landfall strategy. We'll go ahead and elect to go into card draw here. Michiko's Reign of Truth. That is a great card, as we now are going to create a problem for them that they're going to have to elect to do something about. Fortunately for us, we still have the chump blocks for days, and even if they remove the Jukai Naturalist, they're still going to have to block it, or block something, when we get to the next turn here. Old Growth Troll, that is a great body. Go ahead and take that, and we'll give ourselves another bodybuilder. Opponent letting it through. Frankly, I'm pretty surprised. And our bodies have now gotten bigger. Again, our whole goal here is to just chump block for days. The Seeker's Chariot, that is a very effective card. And they're gone, ladies and gentlemen. Another mono green bites the dust. Alright, our next opponent has stepped up to the plate. And we have a good starting hand here. We're going to go ahead and keep that. We're going to go ahead and Branchloft on green and Commune with the Spirits on 1. Well, hoping for some enchantments, but we'll take the untapped land, as that will allow us to play our Spirited Companion on time, and we'll be able to go all the way up to Legion Angel here. Opponent showing red to start. Rabbit Battery, that is a very good card. And the Jukai Naturalist is going to make the rest of this game incredibly fun, assuming we survive early removal. Fireblade Charger coming down. And Play with Fire. So there goes our early dreams. Oh, but it gets better and better, folks. Let's go ahead and play down the Spirited Companion. If the opponent's going to do this 1 damage at a time, it's not going to be fast enough, as we have some very scary cards in the next 2 turns. Lizard Blades, that is another really good card. Does the Rabbit Battery go on to the Blades? It does. Blades are now at 2/2 threat. So, 5 damage coming through. We can now chump block the Lizard Blades, and the Michiko's Reign of Truth will come down and become very scary. Or we can let them attack through, take another 5 damage, and see what happens. Interesting that they went on the Fireblade Charger instead of adding an additional 1/1 to the Lizard Blades. And here come the chump blockers. Gonna go ahead and play down the Reign of Truth, give ourselves another Spirit token, build this board state out wide. Hey, that's fine. I don't actually want it to kill you. I just want it to block you. Oh, the opponent has a way around us. The question is, do they have 4 damage? think we're going to end up losing this one, folks. Alright, and we're back. That deck is a monster. We ended up doing very well. Overall, 3-1. Excited to keep playing this deck as we try and climb our way through Platinum. As we saw in the gameplay there, we were 2-0 against Mono Green, 1-0 against a very long black deck that game just ended up, they decked themselves with a couple of insane planeswalkers that we just couldn't quite get off the board, but it worked out in our favor because of the various token engines we had keeping us fueled up. And we lost to a mono red that just outpaced us. If given a little bit more time, we would have very quickly outscaled them and been very okay. This deck is a banger. If you are looking for a good deck that can compete in the current meta state, this is one to consider. With that, we are excited to see you in the next video and hope that you have a wonderful day. This is Furion from the Florida Men Gaming, signing off.